fight. We are Q. How's everybody doing today? Today is the 11th of February. A year ago on the 11th, it just said Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So that's a year delta. Let's see what happens with that. Today, I'm here joined with Shady Groove, at Shady Groove with 3 O's, and I'm at intheMatrixxx with 3 X's. Here to cover all of Q's posts for February 10th. 2019. So basically, I want to bring in Shady Groove. Hey, Shady, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Matrix. Thanks for everybody that joining us out there. And just a little bit afternoon here, after or evening there. And I hope everybody's doing well. And we've got lots of new sauce from Q.
Yeah, we do. We got some awesome Q posts. I was re-queued again with the zero delta with POTUS. We'll get into that. Just amazing to be re-queued again. That would be maybe what, fifth or sixth. I don't remember how many times it is.
I think this might be 6, brother, man.
Wow, man. So very honored to be re-queued again. And repeat posts are important. So Q has posted this meme with the intheMatrixxx in there several times now, and we'll go over it. And by the way, it was also a zero delta, Shady. But we'll get into that. I was very impressed, happy. It just kind of was a little bit, reassurance to me with the stuff that's been going on outside or inside of Twitter, if you will.
Well, it just gives us more force forward to ignore it and realize that no matter what you do, you're not going to please everyone, and people aren't really excited about the idea of us having all this information in one place. I think that was part of the operation, was to keep the information from being put in one place. And so I have been getting a tremendous amount of good feedback about people who are able to just send their friends to the site and then let them just go and think for themselves. And that is the idea.
Yeah, and my mom is sending it to people in her Facebook and everything. So I'm just very proud and honored. We are in the 120,000th now, top website. We're catching up to Neon Revolt, who's at 80,000th. So Jordan Sather's at 400,000th. Jordan, come on, let's get going. He's amazing. Love you, Jordan. But I just wanted to do some comparisons to see where we kind of fit in. So we're really getting popular. It's a place for unification. It's a tool for you. It's my bookmarks, Shady's bookmarks, Anon's bookmarks. It's the tools for you to help learn for yourself. Okay, that's what we want to just give, the tools that Q has given us. For the tools to help what you guys are doing. So let's get into it, Shady. This is the Q alert, and that's intheMatrixxx with 3x's.com. Did I say that? I mean, wow. Q alert. This is it. This is my thread, and I am human. I did make a couple of mistakes. It was a birthday party I was at, and I was doing some Q stuff while on the phone. So this is all on the phone.
Through my research, I've learned that even bots put the wrong dates on things. That's
beep, boop, bop, boop, beep. I know, right? So I am human. I promise I'm human. 21019, not 18 there. That guy really made a mistake. But this will be my thread for Sunday, February 10th. 2019. I got that right. So let's go. Do factless claims become facts in the minds of many, and more? So let's go. This is how I do my Twitter threads. This is also a mistake here, but you guys don't see that. I'm just going to move along. Why? I just tell on myself, Shady. And we start with Q post 2682. Shady, will you do the honors, my friend?
I would love to. I'm going to, first off, he'll drop that link right there to you guys. It's a reference to the Hill article talking about the no evidence of the Russia collusion. And Q is wanting to point us straight to that article. And then he goes through and says, define projection. How do you fix something that is known to be broken or corrupt? You first need to remove those responsible. Think FBI DOJ exit list, which is big, and we have all Anons know about this one. How do you restore the image of public faith of our most prestigious law enforcement institutions? Hold people accountable, equal justice under the law. The battle begins, as seen today, with public opinion. The fight to win public favorability, the fight to control the narrative. How do these Dems control the narrative? 1, fake news media push of by design narrative, daily updates per 4 a.m., quote unquote, talking points. 2, Fake would echo by design and narrative. 3, social media stream, promote of by design narrative, plus censor, block, ban any and all challengers of your narrative. Do they provide evidence to support their conclusions? POTUS Russia narrative, is there evidence? None. POTUS racist narrative, evidence? None. POTUS, quote, parentheses, you can play this game all day long. None. What do they count on? How many experiments have been conducted by the C blank A regarding mind control? Psych 101. If you hear and see something over and over again by multiple supposedly credible news agencies, elected officials, actors, actresses, documentaries, TV, movies, internet, social media, foreign press, etc., all pushing the same narrative, leading to the same conclusions, what happens? Do factless claims become facts in the minds of many? Think Orwell, guys. Do they count on the fact that with work, family, stresses of life, etc., that the typical person does not have enough time in the day to research topics for themselves and therefore would believe narratives projected in the echo chamber without the need to provide facts or substance other than opinion?
Wow,
I,
that
I know. I
that's
mean, that right there. Why do they try so hard to keep you divided by race, gender, and class? Notice an increase in this push over the last 2 years since what? POTUS was elected or inaugurated. Are you stronger together, united, or divided? If you dare to challenge their narrative, are you cast out or banned by society as a threat conspiracy theorist?
more wow.
Yeah. Are you cast out by members of your family? And we talked about this last week on the Q Lounge. Divided, group think. They do not want you to think for yourself. A free thinking, and this is important, and this is all capital letters, so we're going to accentuate this just a little bit. A free thinking, logical person who draws conclusions based on facts are, put simply, a threat to their control power grip. All they care about is control power. With control comes personal gain. A free thinking, logical person who draws conclusions based on facts. Look how many of those we have created in the last year. I
Yeah.
mean, that there's so many out there. We're pushing back so hard. That's why we're here, guys. They want to keep you poor and in need of government assistance. Bigger the government, more control they have, more power they possess. When you are in need, you're weak. When you are weak, you are not strong. When you are not strong, you do not fight back. This is as real as it gets. They never thought she would lose. Why? See above regarding control. Transparency, the only way. Transparency is the only way to prove to the public that everything sold to you as truth was nothing but a fake narrative designed to keep you, the people, powerless and keep them in control, i.e., in power. Fake news, propaganda arm of the Democrat machine. Sole responsibility is to prevent the truth from ever being disseminated to the masses. Mass infiltration everywhere. Transparency is the only way forward regarding public opinion. Prosecution is the only way forward regarding save and defend the rule of law. Prosecution and transparency is the only way to save our way of life. Q. And our republic was founded on that. Very, very important drop, especially now leading
Yeah.
into what we're getting ready to talk about in the next coming months.
Yeah, that was an amazing Q post. It spoke to a lot of people. I mean, Q also goes to point out, and we'll get to this later, but there's been a lot of attacks on people that are Q, and if you go ahead and say, oh, I don't agree with that, they basically block you, or if they're spreading misinfo and you don't agree with their groupthink, they block you. I mean, I think we've all been kind of experiencing it here in the last, 3 weeks. So again, think for yourself and do your research, your anons. This is the article, "The Case for Russia Collusion Against the Democrats." It was an article on 210 by John Solomon. He's an opinion contributor. And it basically, I dropped the article in there, and I'll drop it again in there for you. But it basically
I
talks.
got it.
You got it. Yeah. So it basically talks about Donald Trump being guilty of Democrat-inspired allegations. There's no evidence, okay, of Russia collusion. It's worth revisiting. One anecdote escaped significant attention, but during the hysteria, but continues to have U.S. security implications. So Clinton's handprint was everywhere in the 2009 and 2010 project. The tip of a diplomatic spear to reboot U.S.-Russian relations after. So there you go, a donor talking about the donors to the Clinton Foundation. Just a very pretty good article to go check out, guys. I'm not going to read all of it, but go ahead.
It's also important. It's also important to mention the running theme, maybe to people who haven't dug into this stuff is deep out there, but the running theme with Q of Think Mirror. What he's telling us in this post where he says define projection, think mirror, their only playbook is to accuse you of what it is they are doing. Notice how throughout the past few decades, especially, everything that the government says they're doing the opposite. The FDA is there to approve things that poison you. The immigration was there to make sure illegals came here. Think mirror, everything being a projection. So everything they're projecting on the president are them admitting in public to what they're doing. The idea of you guys, Q, president, all of us, is to switch this narrative and stick it on its head where it's telling the truth about them. And that's what that whole post right there is about, turning the narrative out of the echo chamber and pointing the fingers where the truth is, which is exactly what they're telling you the president is doing.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely right, Shady. The media no longer represents the will of the people, and this is in regards to Q Post 2683. Again, so this is leading to the Twitter oh boy, what a shot, basically his Twitter account. We'll get to that in a second, but I'll just go to it now because it's basically the yellow vests protesting right now. Oh boy, what a shot. It's the 13th week of the Gillette's Yonnes, I can't say it, yellow vest protests in Paris. Ongoing media protests in all cities in France. Mainstream media, a few protesters. Protests against Macron government, high taxes, labor laws, more than 1,000 arrested, hundreds wounded, multiple dead. So that's what's going on in France.
13 weeks now there, and they're claiming there were 40,000 people in the streets of Spain today. It looked like 400,000, man. I mean, they looked like everybody that was in Spain was on the streets today.
Yeah, and we got to be careful with that too. I did talk to somebody that was from Spain, and that could be the bad people. I'm gonna go ahead and confirm that, but stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I saw lots of protests there. I assumed it was the extension of this.
I thought so too, and I think so, but I have to confirm. Again, I'll
Roger.
follow up with you guys on that for sure. So that was the yellow vest protest that nobody's reporting, but we are. So would you know, if not posted by individuals on social media, fake news attempting to control the narrative by not providing coverage? Do the protests in EU go against the narrative that majority of people are for globalism, open borders and mass immigration, dilution of citizen voice, dilution of citizen vote, dilution of national independence, police turned against its own citizens, citizens turned against its own police, people versus people, controlled media prevent mass awareness. If the news doesn't report the facts, i.e. truth, how do people get informed in order to be heard? Silence the people. Localize disruption. Target leaders of disruption. Quietly take action. Deploy scare tactics and political crosstalk. Control volume. The media no longer represents the will of the people. Think for yourself. Research for yourself. Trust yourself. Sheep no more. Q. Jay, that was an amazing.
Well, yeah, and the power that is being placed here for minds to read is extremely important. The simplicity and the directness that says, the media was, as through our research, was never there to tell you the truth. We understand that they haven't been doing that for a long time, but what they have not done in the past is the blatant deception and complete. We've watched them ignore the important stories, but now they're ignoring everything to talk about things that really mean nothing to you. And our voice is how this becomes important worldwide, to bring the conversation back to them, put it in their face. The people that are wearing ties and get blue check marks on Twitter, Those people
Yeah.
think they're still in the echo chamber matrix. They still think that the same amount of people that were paying attention to them a year ago are paying attention to them right now. And really, the people that are watching them now are watching them so that they can call them out to their friends about how fake it really is. And the president has said, you know, how many times? Fake news is the enemy of the people, not the media is the enemy of the people. Fake news, false stories cause violence. That is what
Yes.
occurs in a civilized society. That is the whole plan to get us in this quote unquote division minded setting where we say, oh, you're this, you're that, da, 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 da. And then, you know, take it to another level of, you know, the idea that we can't identify each other or make fun of each other. Those are part of the suppression of speech.
That's right. That's right, and that's what they do. That's how they control. So you know how I think breaking 911, the news, they released a rare outburst from Russian, like a Russian person close to Putin, and he was saying that you guys think it's Russia collusion. What if we were in your mind and controlled your brains, basically? And you don't even know what to do about it. Well, guys, I think I know what to do about it. It's research, it's meme, it's pray, right? It's research, find the facts. Forget how you feel, find the facts. Make a decision on those facts. And meme so we can get the word out and just pray that POTUS is safe, you're safe, we're safe, because this is dangerous territory. This is their whole control mechanism, and it goes from schooling all the way up to professional life and up into Operation Mockingbird, which is the clown media, right? Protecting the bloodlines that have this grip of control on us. So definitely, guys, Shady, great comments. I think that pretty much sums it up. We need to become the new media. You guys out there are the new media. And how are you going to do that? How are we going to do that? How are we going to get the word out? Well, you can't buy a Q shirt. You can't go on a radio station. And you can't go on John B. Wells. You can't, Shady, we can't do any of that. Okay? You can't go have a website. You can't say anything. You can't tell your mom. You can't tell your dad. You can't tell anybody. Who in their right mind would be telling you this stuff? When Q says, be loud, be proud, be heard. And that brings me to this Q post right here. It's 2684. Public border wall fight necessary to bring public awareness regarding true intentions of the D Party. Okay? Again, this is the red castle, green castle, because we know this is a meme that some brilliant Anon did, and it's the Army Corps of Engineers building strong logo, right? And they found that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is on U.S. Highway 231 North Greencastle, Indiana. Okay? Red Castle, Green Castle, clock activated, stage 5-5. Why? And then it says this: you will not win, Pelosi. You didn't think the largest MIL military spending bill in history, FY 2019, wasn't going to go into indirectly including funding for the wall, did you? Learn the Constitution regarding vested powers of POTUS regarding matters of NatSec, national security. This was planned and forecasted as the border funding solution from the beginning. At twitter.com, at intheMatrixxx status 9775540, whatever. And here's what Q has to say after mentioning the intheMatrixxx account. Anons had the proof long ago, but shining a light back then would have defeated the primary purpose of showing the public the real objective of D's. Party of open borders, eliminate of ICE, eliminate of security, defend illegals over American midterm elections. These people are stupid, Q. And in the Matrix account, tagged again, re-queued, Anons had the proof long ago, but shining a light back then would have defeated the primary purpose of showing the public the real objective of the D's. Now, in the Matrix account is under a real democratic attack too, guys. If you guys really start, understanding, Q and what we're looking at, optics. So we got real Donald Trump Twitter status: stage set. Border wall fight necessary to bring public awareness regarding true intentions of D Party. Anons new? Narrative fight. Dark to light. Q. And then let's just go over to our president's Twitter. And basically it's president is on sound legal ground to declare a national emergency and have been 58 national emergencies declared since the law was enacted in 1976, and 31 right now that are currently active. So this is hardly unprecedented. Congressman Tom McClintock said that.
And maybe I'll interject here just for a second and see where is drawing attention. I found this interesting because going back to my initial time of becoming red pilled and finding out a lot of this information way back in the 90s, and the emergency orders, and how, like, we watched the last four administrations pretty much pass an emergency order no matter what's going on. No one says anything. There's never any pushback against this. Well, it's interesting because what I actually found out in my research a long time ago are that these national emergencies, like, are declared in jurisdictions, like, say, for instance, New Orleans, whenever we had the hurricanes and stuff like that. They're declared and they're never wrapped up. So under, the National Emergencies Act, like we all know, there's a form of, quote, martial law that exists in those confines. So believe it or not, in a lot of these municipalities, even including South Florida from Hurricane Andrew and different emergencies like that, on some level, they sort of hide the idea that it's still under a national emergency, and they're using a slush fund government system to still funnel money into, quote unquote, deep state assets in those areas to cause mayhem. So, the idea that they're standing up against the president for the fact that he wants to put the border under a national emergency only because they're saying they won't give him the money, when we're sitting here looking at somewhere between 10 and 20 some thousand people rushing the border, is very interesting. Because, like, again, think mirror. They say that he's off his rocker for wanting a national emergency because there's no crisis at the border, where they're literally telling you there's a major crisis at the border and we're instigating it and he's trying to stop it.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And I wanted to really quick too on that Matrix post. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I believe it's in here. Hang on. What happened was that was a zero delta with the graphic with the Twitter account there. And people are saying, well, that was just a graphic that he reposted again, because this was a graphic used by the Q team before. Also the original post, right? So that's like the third or fourth time this has been used. And at the same exact time, Q posted this graphic in that post, Q2684. Donald Trump said, well, it happened again. But then went on to say Amy Klobuchar announced that she's running for president, talking proudly of fighting global warming while standing in a virtual blizzard of snow, ice, and freezing temperatures. Bad timing. By the end of her speech, she looked like a snowman woman. Exclamation point. But that's a zero delta. Well, it happened again. Shady.
Right. Well, and also how he says, well, it happened again. Try to put, well, it happened again in the context of what he's talking about right there. It makes absolutely no sense. What he's saying is, it happened again. This is I think this is the fourth, maybe fifth, zero delta President Q in the operation, like literally within the same minute.
So is this President Trump acknowledging Q?
And see, this is the way the Anons know that Q is communicating with us. The people that are out there that are, you're seeing on Twitter that are telling you the Q is not real, just understand they're not digging into this, and just move past them. Don't really engage with them. You're not going to convince those people who are steadfastly convinced. Move on to people who might be interested or asking questions. Your time is better spent there.
Yes, and E513 said, or excuse me, Vintage Mom says Zero Delta is a BFD, right? It absolutely is. Is the chat not working for others? Yes, it's working. Press 1 if you guys can hear us. Press 1. What's up, guys? How's YouTube today? Yes. Christabel K says, please hit the like button. Really would appreciate that. Jojo K, hello. Carly, what's up? She's got the bombs out there. Acrylic Painter can hear us. Chat is on here. Melly, let's see, Susan. Yeah, there's so many Q proofs. That's so true. It's amazing, really. Philip's at lunch. Welcome, Philip. Have some kofefi with us. All right. So there's the ones. Ed, hello. Bill, Cutter.
Chat's working.
Bill, yep, it's working. Paula, how you guys doing?
Great to see so many people joining us here in real time. We're honored to have your attention, and I appreciate all the kind words and the love that we're getting out there about what we're doing and what we've been working on.
Yeah.
This is the fight of our lives, and we all recognize it. So
That's right. Yep. Thank you very much. And thank you for being here. I know it's 3 o'clock. We're going to try to get our schedule tight so you guys will know when we're on. Song Babe is here. Hello. Lickety Split, Iowa. What's up? Wheezy Girl, Joe. How you doing? All right. So we got Carly in the house. We got some nice people. Thank you for coming here. Thank you, mods, for being here as well. The Q Post 2685 basically is a YouTube video, and it's Reagan quotes as government expands, liberty contracts. Okay, so that's a very good video. I also have it here, so it's tweetable on Twitter if you want to tweet that as well. I just uploaded the video. And then we go to Q 2686. And Shady, I'm going to cruise over to the Q map and go to 2686. And it's the focused on Planned Parenthood organization itself. So we really want to go ahead and make sure that we're focusing on this Planned Parenthood. And Shady, do you want to take this one?
yeah, I'll take this one. And you're correct. The very direct conversation that we have to pivot here back to let's talk about what they're really doing, and let's start exposing this stuff. I mean, I know it's hard to start to talk about this.
Yeah.
But this is where the conversation is getting ready to go, and we're all going to have to get a little bit more comfortable with the straight talk on it. But I'm going to start, and he'll drop you the article there.
And Shady, really quick too. We had a discussion about this before the State of the Union.
I know.
Remember what was Q talking about before the State of the Union, and what made a huge impact? It was the Planned Parenthood stuff, man.
Well, yeah, and he pointed us right back to all the stuff that we were dropped last year. I mean, whenever you get to learning what they're doing with this material, you're really going to start thinking again about what you consume. So we'll just leave it.
And the truth is, for you to know, it's not for everybody. But we need to have this conversation publicly. Again, I go back to the understanding that Planned Parenthood equals pro-abortion. It does not. They've put that in your mind. They've controlled your mind to think that you're against abortion if you're not with Planned Parenthood. Like I want to let you know that people understand that there's issues that may arise and that might have to happen. But forget the abortion issue, because that's not what they're about. Yes, they do abortions and they do control populations. In 2012, there's more black babies aborted than there were born. So these are things that we really need to understand, that they are weeding out the population and they are controlling elections. And I don't care, again, a D, an I, if you're a Democrat, an independent, or Republican, a 420 party, a Green Party, whatever party you want to put yourself in.
You don't need to have anything to do with the elections.
Right. You don't need any company or organization.
Much less be getting money from them that you're spending on campaigns.
That's right.
And the government is just giving them.
That's right. Melly Q says eugenics, and that's exactly what it is. And there's Spud forever. Spud follows me everywhere, Shady.
Spud is the man. I see Spud on Twitter. He's got our back up one side and down the other. This guy, we're going to have to bring him in, get him on the air sometime.
Yeah, Spud. Thank you for being such a super patriot, man. Thank you. Shay, let's get into this. Do you want to just look at this?
Yeah.
Go ahead and let's read it, and we'll go from there, brother.
Yeah, I dropped a link in there. Maybe you can drop it again as we go down the list here. But so it's February 10, 2019. Why do the Dems push to fund Planned Parenthood using taxpayer dollars? $500 million a year? Where does the money go? Past political donations of Planned Parenthood, with a question mark, saying, go look. What is the process of disposal regarding aborted fetus? What regulations, who monitors are in place to ensure that this process is being followed properly? Why is there a new push by the Dems to legalize late-term abortions? See past drops regarding Planned Parenthood. I was just talking about that. Regarding congressional report, warning graphic. This information is for you to know. I warn you, if you go looking for this information, you will find out. This has nothing to do with a woman's right to choose, tactic they deploy when challenged to activate the liberal media hysteria, which, you would think that the TDS would run out at some point. The focus is on the organization itself, and then gives us this link to the Adams Cecil Richards Awards. Ask yourselves a very simple question. Given the amount of evidence demonstrating illegal and disturbing activities by Planned Parenthood, where is the FBI investigation? And then a Fox News article, Planned Parenthood under investigation by DOJ. RR, McCabe, both in the kill box. Question: what senior political officials are providing cover to Planned Parenthood? Will action be taken by DOJ and FBI? 2019. Now, I read that to say that Rosenstein and McCabe are or were essential in no processes ever being coming in front of the FBI. So anything that's brought to the FBI is shuffled around to the side. And the senior political officials that are providing cover now, we know that RR with Whitaker is out of the Mueller investigation. I think Rod Rosenstein is going to work and just sitting at his desk all day and not doing anything. McCabe is gone. So he's answering his own question right there, and then saying, will action be taken by DOJ, FBI in 2019? And I would answer Q is, I would say, suggest Q is telling us that yes, action will be taken, and yes, we will see this in 2019.
Yep, absolutely. That's what he's saying. And let's look at the articles, Shady. This is the Planned Parenthood covers up child sex trafficking. The average of entry into child prostitution is 13, and some girls have been subjected to multiple abortions and encounter with any healthcare worker should be an opportunity for trafficking victims to get help or escape from slavery. Live Action went undercover to find out how Planned Parenthood would respond to sex traffickers seeking services, including abortions for their underage sex slaves.
And it's going to, I think that we're going to end up finding out there's a lot of a social media contact with this, the way that they're using apps like Tinder to get younger people on their applications and then, lure them into situations. This is all working, together. Okay. So this is so much more disgusting than anybody could ever imagine. Yeah. We're really just covering surface issues, but prepare for the future to be a lot more in depth on these particular issues and the specifics of what is being done and why they're fighting to keep, quote unquote, late term abortions, which, most people in America, I would say 90% of the people in America, if they understood that the abortion argument had went from the idea of a woman having a right to choose and a procedure that was done in the first couple of weeks of a pregnancy compared to allowing a child to form all the way to its being a human after the 7th month, 8th month. I mean, this, it's a human there. It can be a human. Is something that people aren't going to swallow. And that's why you saw the media throw a governor, a lieutenant governor, and an attorney general under the bus in a week to distract you from this. Then I imagine this week's going to be a lot more fluff stories to try to prevent us from getting back to this conversation. Q posted right before he went on break, came back and said, this is the focus. Watch what's happening. Think logical. Trust yourself.
Right. And I've just been kind of looking at the articles here. Kirk Adams and Cecile Richards, executive director at Health and president, Healthcare Education Project, Planned Parenthood and Planned Parenthood Action Fund. So that's worth a dig, guys. Q wants us to dig on these folks. He started it for us. So those are them. And then Planned Parenthood under investigation by Justice Department over sale of fetal tissue. It's illegal. It's a very clear illegal act to sell live human tissue. It should be an open and shut case. I'm sorry.
And what was going on in LA, for the people out there paying attention, the person who was the owner of those buildings where you saw the helicopters land owns transportation companies and owns cold storage companies and is in connection with the Guatemalan House of Culture.
And what if those were actual arrests?
Well, there's actually some more speculation coming out that's looking like we might have had people on the ground that had breached the building and gathered people before the choppers actually landed. Our attention wasn't brought to it till we saw the choppers coming down Wilshire Avenue there, and, and so we saw the people come out and get into the helicopters pretty of their own fruition. They weren't being escorted by what looked to be law enforcement with guns. So initially, it looked like it might be, some sort of voluntary rescue mission. But there is more speculation coming out now that it could have actually been arrests, and those people were already arrested and instructed to get on the choppers.
Yeah,
As you know,
that's what I
hear,
think too.
you hear, and we got them on. There were more too. There were more other than just that one landing. So lots
Yeah.
of stuff happening out there.
And Mitchell says, Mitchell Golston out there says that was an operation, not training. I
Absolutely.
believe you. I mean, I'm with
Well,
you on
yeah.
that.
Well, we know this. This is the kind of the easy way I think that we can discern that it was an operation. A couple of the machines that they used. I mean, we're talking the skill of a pilot to actually maneuver a couple of those Blackhawks in those positions is very, very high. So,
Yeah,
and
you,
you're
you could
talking
have
about
thrown a beer out the window and crashed that thing.
right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the risk of if a blade hits a telephone pole and spins around, we're going to be injuring 50 people. That's just right there. So, it was definitely a risk taking operation. And I have a feeling that we had some of our best men flying those sorties in there.
No doubt about it. All right, so moving to Q post 2687. So the dig on Planned Parenthood continues. We see the actions being taken place by the DOJ. We see POTUS talking about it. We see Q talking about it. So that's a Q proof. Just so you know, guys, we've been talking about Planned Parenthood for a long time here in the QArmy and QAnon circles here. So QMap.pub named this one, "Why does the fake news media machine continue to attack QAnon?" And it's Q post 2687. And I actually had this picture back when it happened. This was a protest taking place in London against the U.S. President Donald Trump. Or was it? There's a big Q on that flag there. Haha, love it. Then we've got Finland, QAnon. This is amazing. Trump make America great again. Maybe they have Earth though. I don't know. But there they are with American flags in Finland talking about Q. Then we got more recently, I believe, this is the "We Want Our Country Back," the "Screw EU" protest. Somebody's got a New York hat there. The British flag's there, and the UK says "Q, please." So that's interesting. And then people are making really cool memes with the letter Q. There you go. And then Q says, "Why does the fake news media continue to attack the so-called conspiracy? Did you know there's been 1,000 plus articles written about this movement by the fake news media machine? Google QAnon, select news, past 30 days, example. What are they afraid of? People are coming together and thinking for themselves." Q. And we just did one. Here it is right here. If you kind of want to take a look, this is the past month. These are the Russian troll accounts purged by Twitter, QAnon, and others.
We got Al
Al
Jazeera.
Jazeera, yep, conspiracy theories in the media. The QAnon conspiracy theory was, they're going to tell you what it was. It was born over a, go ahead. We pretty much know how it's going to be.
Ruth
NBC.
Bader Ginsburg. They have. It's funny to see the. I think it was the Washington Post or somebody typed. Said, people are spreading the conspiracy theory that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead, and then two words: she's not.
Right, and that
Kind of not proof.
yeah, and that remember that performance she was said to be by
I'm not
Jeff
even sure that
Bezos.
happened.
Yeah, we go back to the archive.org to that website where the event happened, and there was no event planned in archive.org. So,
And the speaker wasn't actually scheduled to be there.
yep, completely made up. So I'm a Ruth seeker. Press 1 if you're seeking Ruth. I think it's more of a conspiracy theory that she's alive. I mean, she's what, 170 years old? I mean, come on. Let's see proof of life. At Supreme Court, justices, we the people, actually demand to have a statement and proof of life for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and look at this. We had the Anchorage Daily News doing an article. The New Zealand Herald does an ABC News, Fortune Magazine, another ABC News, Washington Post, Spin Magazine, Yahoo Finance, New York Times, NBC News, and News Australia, Omaha World Herald does a story, Orange Espange does a story, Pointer does a story, Al Jazeera another story. El Mundo story. Then also a couple in Arabic here. Esquire story, Daily Beast story, Vice story. You guys think you're not making a difference? Look at this. Newsweek story, version 2, Right Wing Watch does a story, International Policy Digest. This is all in the last 30 days. Q says over 1,000 articles written about how you guys are crazy. Now,
and I see
if we think
1,300.
mirror, if we think mirror in this situation, over the target much? QAnons?
Right. Absolutely.
We are right over the target, and we're talking about what's important. And once this gets, like, you see the flags and stuff from the different countries, you see people coming out. People know about this stuff. People in other countries, believe it or not, have had a lot more of a red pill than we do, because they've not been inundated by the propaganda that Americans have been. It's not been the same. We've been sheltered from so much truth over the last 30 years. Especially since 9/11, of what is actually being done by our deep state contractors on all these war fronts out there, creating all of this division and hatred for what? Creating a society of people that hate freedom.
Yep.
Look at how they've turned that on its ear.
And I wanted to just look at one of these articles too. It was Donald Trump tweets and responders race to get the top reply. We know this: Ben Krasicstein, Jacob Wool, Ed Krasicstein, Eugene Gu, David Wool, and we are one_Q. Props for him to getting under there. But it's kind of funny how they mislead you. They're trying to tell, they're showing you the different replies. Let's go to we are Q. Let's see, right here. He basically, Democrats are saying that DACA is not worth it and want to include talks. Many Hispanics will be coming over to the Republican side. Watch. And we are one_Q says the D party will exist once all exposed. Fake news can no longer control, dampen public awareness of the truth. Dark to light. Q. And it says QAnon has more than 100,000 followers on Twitter. QAnon is a pro-Trump conspiracy theory that has gathered steam. Gosh, we've heard that a lot. At recent times to aim to expose the deep state with factual information. For those conspiracy theories, searching around the internet about what these guys couldn't do would keep you busy for days. The main QAnon account has more than 100,000 followers, and its supporters are often seen at Mr. Trump rallies. So We Are One Q is the main QAnon account. I hat tip them, but I'm just a few thousand below them. Come on, guys. This is a QAnon supporter too. So they're basically telling you that this is the main QAnon account. There are so many out there. There's Praying Medic, Lisa May. I mean, Jordan said there are so many QAnon accounts, not just one with 100,000. There's millions, guys. We have millions that are looking into Q. Philip Collins, go get them, boys. Thank you. Appreciate that.
We're getting them.
Yeah, we're getting them.
So we're getting them every day. Every day there's so many more people waking up, and that's the trick to this. From my perspective, I feel like there's been plenty of room built into this operation to move this from us to them, to your friends, to your family, to their friends, to their family. People are going to start getting comfortable. It's almost like Q is coming to the conversation, and at the same time, a lot of people are getting comfortable with saying they support the president. At the same time, going in, he's getting ready to do a rally tonight, guys. I think it's 7 o'clock or something. So Trump is going to be doing his first 2020 election rally tonight. So he's going to keep them held to the fire. He's going to yell and scream with his loudest voice. And we are recommending that you guys be encouraged to do the same with your friends and family in a very positive, productive manner. Don't take your emotions out of things.
Ask them questions.
Someone can ask questions and share things as questions are asked of you. Remember, you can't force in a question. It has to be asked.
Truth is learned. It's never told, ever. This was a really good 2682 Brilliant Anon. I wanted to kind of bring this to the attention. I love to look at theories, and this one is a very good one. Get ready for a new phase in the battle, Anons. The fight to take back the narrative from the MSM. Yesterday, in response to Q2678, I discussed the 4 big lies of the MSM. DJT won the presidency because of Russian interference. Social media has been the main vehicle for this interference. Patriots' social media sites are very similar to Russian bot sites. Both Trump and the Patriots have dangerous ideas and must be stopped. While all these lies are very big, it dawned on me later, so I left out the biggest lie of all. The one ring to rule them all. The biggest lie is that everything we hear from the deep state is exactly the opposite of what they say, just like what you just said, Shady. If they say right, it means left. If they say up, it means down. If they say bad, it means good. If they say no new taxes, it means taxes. I just put that in there. This is the essence of projection. But we know this, right? Or at least we know about it. Look at how many times Q has used the following relevant terms in drops. Conspiracy, 184 times. Narrative, 131 times. Fake news, 128 times. Projection, 37 times. Propaganda, 15 times. Disinformation, 14 times. So if Anons already know this, why does Q keep talking about it? Because everything is about to change. We are about to begin applying all of these lessons that we have been taught. The battle begins, as seen today, with public opinion. The fight to win public favorability. The fight to control the narrative. Today, we begin to apply these ideas instead of just hearing about them. How the Dems have controlled the narrative up till now. Constant repetition, which is mass hypnosis. A. MSM 4am talking points. B. Fake Hollywood echoing the talking points. C. Social media promotion, the talking points narrative. 2. Division fagging, mass distraction. In Q terms, that just means division people. Big government, mass dependency. Their solution to mass propaganda. Transparency is the only way forward. DJT models transparency so we know what it'll look like. That's why the Dems hate him so much, because Trump breaks the taboo that says national leaders must use a skeptical fake language, like political doublespeak, that keeps people ignorant of what is really happening. Transparency depends upon the real facts and logical explanations. This board sets a standard for real research. We are challenged here to dig deeply, source our posts, and justify our claims with effective arguments. That's how we escape the trap of groupthink. This post signals a big shift in the show. This shift is signaled by the article at the beginning, the case for Russian collusion against the Democrats. Until now, the vast majority of articles on Russian collusion target Trump and the Patriots. This one is different. Everything the Dems have been saying about POTUS and the Patriots is about to boomerang back onto them. And that process starts today.
And also, we just got all of our markers of the 90, 45, 60, and 50, so placeholders, guys, lots of placeholders. Your information is placeholder. Be patient and unfrustrated with all of this, and understand when Q has said we have everything, we have all the information, but we have to expose them to the normies, quote unquote. We have to expose them to the normies because the shock of exposure wakes up more people. Carpet bombing doesn't mean literally carpet bombs of Black Hawk helicopters falling into the cities and pulling people out every single day. Carpet bomb means we got to grab this narrative back. That's what we have to do. Once we get the narrative back, and then people are depending on you guys and us and all of these other structures for the information that's coming out, then we are the line. We are the line of communication. We are all of a sudden the spread of truth. We work together and we aggregate what's really going on, as opposed to a guy in a suit who sits there and is paid to not tell you things.
You are the news. We, the people, Shady Groove and I, are doing our part. How about you? Did you go get a shirt? Did you go get a sticker? Did you get a Q flag? Did you go tell somebody? Did you go red pill 3 people today? Did you try to even start the process of red pilling somebody today? Do you have the tools? If you don't have the tools, come on over to intheMatrixxx.com. I mean, we got the tools here. We got the comms, the core, the new to Q. We got crumbs. We got the PaySur stuff, resignation, Trump's accomplishments, sealed indictments, Trump executive orders, human trafficking arrests, treasuries, the Department of Justice news, Inspector General reports, other important documents that we find and put here. We've got the crumbs, right? The crumbs. The core, that's our scheduled events. And we've got memes here, guys. We've got the QArmy ammo memes, thousands of memes at the Mega. Okay.
related to whatever topic
Whatever
you could
topic.
possibly imagine.
Yeah. In fact, we've got new to Q for people that are new to Q, and Shady and I are going to be doing some cool things with new to Q. We've just got this really well done PDF here, picture of a PDF, and we're going to probably be doing a video as well. I do want to maybe put Pragmatics new to Q video on there too because it's amazing.
That's a really good overview, and it stands the test of time. It's not
Yep.
dated. Like it really does give you a nice central perspective of what we're talking about and maybe how to get started to dig in. We understand, especially with people that are going to be new to this. I mean, just for a minute, think about how long it would take you to go back and read all those posts from number
Right.
one. I
Right. It
mean,
would take
just the sheer
hundreds,
time.
100 hours. Right.
Yeah. All
Uh,
right, so we're gonna help people by using the current Q drops to point us back in time, future proofs past, to grab this piece of information and to be bringing memes related to that piece of information to the Twitter, to Facebook, and maybe to a new social media network that will be coming soon that will be independent of the censor.
no Jack, no Zuck.
Knows Jack, knows Zuck. It won't. Uh, I'll stop there.
Awesome. Here's
I was gonna make a rhyme.
guys, I just did a couple of designs. If you want something for your to help, we've got some cool stuff here. I mean, look, we're just trying to. We know that we're going to have to go to the next level, so we need to make sure we've got a lot of eyes coming. We're moving up in the ranks. We want to give you guys so much more, and thank you very much for your generosity and support for this. We couldn't do it without you. So
We're
we've
doing
got.
it with you. I mean, the support from you guys is the only way this is possible. That's just the bottom line. If we did not have so many people asking us to do this, we wouldn't be doing it. So we are doing it for you. We are doing it with you, and your contributions and assistance, whether it be information,